Every morning, Thomas was typing the same thing into the AI. The same role, the same background about his company, the same instructions before he could even ask his real question. Then he learned he could build that setup once into a reusable assistant and never type it again. No code. Today, you learn to build your first procurement AI assistant. Let us be clear about what we are building and what we are not. We are not writing software. We are not hiring a developer. We are taking a normal AI tool and giving it a permanent job, a fixed set of instructions, and your reference knowledge, so it behaves like a specialist every time you open it. Think of it as going from a brilliant temp who needs rebriefing every morning to a trained team member who already knows the drill. First, why bother? 3 reasons that add up fast. Consistency. The assistant follows the same process every single time, so the output is reliable, not dependent on how well you happen to prompt it that day. Speed. No more retyping context. You open it, ask, and go. And sharing. You build it once, and your whole team can use it. Your best way of doing a task becomes everyone's way of doing it. That is the part that quietly transforms a team. So what actually goes into one of these assistants? 4 ingredients. Get these right, and you have a genuinely useful specialist. Ingredient 1, a role. You tell it who it is. You are a senior procurement risk analyst with 15 years of experience in manufacturing supply chains. This single line shifts the whole tone and depth of what you get back. Ingredient 2, instructions, the how. Step by step, how should it do the task? Always assess a supplier across these 4 pillars. Always flag missing information. Always end with a clear recommendation. This is the process baked in, so it never forgets a step. Ingredient 3, knowledge, the what. You give it your reference documents, your risk scoring criteria, your preferred supplier list, your category strategy. Now it answers using your standards, not generic ones. This is where it stops being a general AI and becomes yours. Ingredient 4, examples, the gold standard. You show it 1 or 2 examples of a perfect output, the exact format and depth you want. AI is brilliant at copying a good example. This one trick lifts quality more than almost anything else. A role, instructions, knowledge, and examples. That is the entire recipe. Let me make it concrete. Watch Thomas build a supplier risk analyst assistant, start to finish, in about 10 minutes. He opens a no-code assistant builder. We will talk about which ones in a moment. There's a simple box that says, give your assistant instructions. He types the role. You are a meticulous supplier risk analyst for a manufacturing company. He adds the process. When I give you a supplier, assess them across financial health, delivery risk, ESG, and geopolitical exposure. Score each out of 10. Flag anything you cannot verify. End with an overall verdict, red, amber, or green, and a 1-line recommendation. He uploads his knowledge, his company's actual risk scoring rubric, and the list of approved suppliers. And he pastes in 1 example, a perfect risk assessment he wrote himself last month, so it knows exactly the standard to hit. He saves it. That is it. He now has a permanent supplier risk analyst sitting in his tools ready whenever he needs it. The next morning, a new vendor lands on his desk. The old way, 15 minutes of setting up the prompt. The new way, he opens his assistant, types the supplier name, and gets a complete on-standard risk assessment in his exact format in 30 seconds. And so does every colleague he shares it with. So where do you actually build these? Good news, the tools are everywhere now, and they're no code. Custom GPTs inside ChatGPT are probably the easiest place to start. You build one in a chat. Claude projects do the same with a focus on documents. And for companies, Microsoft Copilot Studio and similar enterprise tools let you build assistants that plug into your real systems with proper security and governance. For your first one, just use whatever AI tool you already have. The 4 ingredients are the same everywhere. The platform is just where you type them in. Now, the honest limits, because an assistant is not a magic box you build and forget. 1. It is still an AI. It can still hallucinate, so you still verify, especially on numbers and specifics. Building an assistant makes it consistent, not infallible. 2. Knowledge goes stale. If your risk criteria or supplier list changes, you have to update the assistant, or it will confidently use last year's rules. An assistant needs an owner. 3. Mind the governance. Be thoughtful about what company knowledge you load and into which tool. The enterprise platforms exist precisely so you can do this securely. For anything confidential, use those, not a public consumer tool. And notice, the human is still right there. You designed the process, you wrote the standard, you review the output and own the decision. The assistant just executes your expertise faster and more consistently than you could by hand, every time. That is the real magic of this. You are not just using AI, you are encoding your own expertise into a tool. The way Thomas thinks about supplier risk, his process, his standards, is now captured in an assistant that applies it perfectly every time for his whole team. He has effectively cloned the best part of his own judgment and put it to work at scale. And once you have built one, the second is easy because the recipe never changes. A contract review assistant, an RFP drafting assistant, a spend analysis assistant, a negotiation prep assistant. Each one is the same 4 ingredients pointed at a different job. Within a month, Thomas had a small shelf of them, each a specialist he trained once and uses every week. That's what people mean when they say they have built an AI toolkit. It's not magic and it's not engineering. It's just a buyer who wrote down how he worked 4 times. So picture the team a month later. Every supplier assessment follows Thomas's gold standard process, whether he did it or a junior did. The quality went up, the time went down. And the knowledge that used to live only in Thomas's head now lives in a tool the whole team uses. That's a different kind of value than just doing your own work faster. That's leverage. So let's lock it in. A custom AI assistant is a normal AI tool given a permanent job, no code required. You build it from 4 ingredients: a role, instructions, your knowledge, and a great example. You make it in a custom GPT, a cloud project, or an enterprise tool like Copilot Studio. And you respect the limits. It still hallucinates, so verify. Keep its knowledge fresh and mind your data governance. You do not need to be technical to do this. If you can write down how you do a task, you can build an assistant that does it. And the moment you do, you stop being someone who uses AI and start being someone who builds with it. And that is a genuine shift in how valuable you are. Anyone can type a question into a chatbot. Far fewer can capture a process, encode a standard, and hand the whole team a tool that lifts everyone's work to their level. That's leadership expressed through technology. It's exactly the kind of thing that gets noticed. If you want ready-made assistant recipes for procurement, the roles, instructions, and samples for spend, suppliers, contracts, and more, they're free and linked below. And our full course walks you through building your entire assistant toolkit, step by step. Thomas stopped rebriefing the AI every morning. He built it once, and the whole team got faster. Now go and build your first one. I will see you in the next one.